Deep in a lush green valley, where the sun's golden rays danced on the water, flowed a beautiful, winding river. This river was home to all sorts of wonderful creatures, but our story today is about a very special one named Beni. Beni was a young, enthusiastic beaver with a fluffy brown coat, big buck teeth perfect for chewing wood, and a heart full of grand ideas. More than anything in the world, Beni dreamed of building the greatest, most magnificent dam the river had ever seen. He pictured it in his mind every day, a strong, sturdy wall that would create a calm, peaceful pond behind it, a perfect place for all his friends to play and relax. One bright morning, Beni decided that today was the day. His dream would finally become a reality. "I'm going to build my dam, all by myself," he declared to a passing butterfly. With a flick of his wide, flat tail, he dove into the river and swam to the bank. He found a young sapling, its branches swaying gently in the breeze. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Beni's sharp teeth made quick work of the trunk, and soon, the tree fell with a soft thud. He then started nibbling off the branches, one by one, getting them ready to be part of his masterpiece. He was determined to prove he could do it alone. He pushed the first log into the water, grunting with effort. The river, however, had its own plans. It was flowing much faster than usual today, and the log was immediately swept a little way downstream. "Oh dear," Beni muttered, but he wasn't discouraged. He swam after the log, nudged it back into place, and tried to wedge it between two rocks. Just as he thought he had it secured, a strong current pushed it loose again. He tried again, and again, and again. He spent hours wrestling with that single log, his foot getting soaked and his muscles growing tired. His friends started to notice his struggle. Sally the squirrel, perched on an overhanging branch, called down, "Beni, what are you doing? You look like you're fighting with that log." Beni, feeling a little embarrassed, just waved a paw. "I'm fine, Sally. I'm building a dam, the best dam ever," he shouted back, trying to sound more confident than he felt. A little later, Freddy the Frog hopped onto a lily pad nearby. "Ribbit, that looks like hard work, Beni. The river is very strong today," he croaked, his big eyes blinking slowly. Even Oliver the owl, who was usually asleep at this time, hooted from his tree. "Who's making all that splashing?" "Beni, you seem to be having some trouble." Beni appreciated their concern, but his pride was on the line. "I can handle it," he insisted, even as another branch he had carefully placed was whisked away by the gushing water. He worked tirelessly, dragging sticks and pushing mud, but for every piece he managed to put in place, the river seemed to take to a way. The sun climbed higher in the sky, and Beni's pile of building materials on the bank barely got any smaller. His grand dam was just a messy jumble of sticks that the river tossed around like toys. He was exhausted, frustrated, and his wonderful dream was starting to feel like an impossible nightmare. Finally, as the afternoon sun began to dip towards the horizon, Beni slumped onto the riverbank, defeated. His perfect dam was a failure. He let out a big sigh, watching the water rush past, taking his hard work with it. Just then, Sally, Freddy, and Oliver, along with a few other friends like Ricky the rabbit and Tilly the turtle, came down to the water's edge. They didn't laugh or say "I told you so." They just sat with him quietly for a moment. Sally was the first to speak. "Beni," she said softly, "building a dam that big is a huge job for one beaver. Why don't you let us help?" Beni looked at their kind, friendly faces. He felt a lump in his throat. He had been so focused on doing it all by himself that he had forgotten the most important thing of all, his friends. "But it was my dream," he whispered, his voice trembling a little. Freddy hopped closer. "And it's a wonderful dream, Beni. A calm pond would be lovely for everyone. A dream is even better when you share it," he croaked wisely. Tilly the turtle, who moved slowly but thought quickly, added, "Many paws make light work, and many fins, and many wings." A small smile flickered across Benny's face. He realized they were right. He had been so stubborn. Okay, he said, his voice a bit stronger now. Okay, let's do it. Together, a cheer went up from the group. Instantly, the riverbank buzzed with excitement and activity. Beni, now feeling re-energized, took on the role of the chief builder. He knew exactly how a dam should be built. He just needed the help to do it. Sally, Ricky, you two are fast. Can you gather all the smaller sticks and branches? He instructed. Freddie, you're a great swimmer. Can you help guide the logs into place in the water? Oliver, with your sharp eyes, can you spot the best, strongest rocks for the foundation? Everyone had a job. Sally and Ricky scurried through the woods, their arms full of sticks. Freddie zipped through the water, nudging logs with his nose, lining them up just as Beni directed. Tilly, surprisingly strong, helped push heavy stones from the bank into the water, creating a solid base. Other friends joined in, weaving branches together and packing mud into the gaps. It was like a well-oiled machine. What had been a frustrating struggle for Beni alone became a joyful game for everyone. They laughed and chattered as they worked, their combined effort making the task seem easy. The dam grew at an amazing speed. Log by log, stone by stone, it rose from the riverbed. The structure that Beni couldn't even start on his own was now taking shape, strong and secure. The fast-flowing river pushed against it, but this time, the dam held firm. It was a beautiful sight. The teamwork was incredible. If a log was too heavy for one, two others would help. If a gap appeared, someone was right there to plug it with mud and leaves. Beni swam back and forth, overseeing the construction, his heart swelling with gratitude and happiness. He saw that each friend brought their own unique skill to the project, making the final result much better than anything he could have imagined on his own. As the sun began to set, casting a warm, orange glow over the valley, the last stone was put into place. The dam was complete. Behind it, the rushing river began to slow down, transforming into the calm, glassy pond of Beni's dreams. The water was still and peaceful, reflecting the colors of the twilight sky like a perfect mirror. Everyone stood back to admire their work. It was magnificent. It was strong. It was perfect. Beni looked at the serene pond, then at all his friends, their faces tired but beaming with pride. He swam over to the bank and climbed out, his heart overflowing. "Thank you," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Thank you, everyone. I could have never, ever done this without you. This isn't just my dam. It's our dam." Sally scampered onto his shoulder and gave him a friendly nuzzle. "That's what friends are for, Beni," she chirped. Freddie let out a happy ribbit and did a joyful flip into the new pond. As the stars began to pop out in the night sky, the friends sat together by their new pond, watching the moon rise over the water. Beni smiled the biggest, happiest beaver smile ever. He had learned a very important lesson that day. Big challenges can seem impossible when you're alone, but with a little help from your friends, you can achieve anything. Teamwork doesn't just make the work easier. It turns the hard work into a happy memory and the success into a shared victory. And that, Beni knew, was the best feeling in the world. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures.